All right, here we go. We have Sean Dollwet on the show. Thanks, Sean, for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, so I know I got you on a relatively late notice, but for those at home that don't know who you are, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Um, my name is Sean. I grew up in Japan and I currently live in Hawaii. A lot of people know me from the self-publishing space. That's where I had some decent success with it, and I have a YouTube channel and I talk about it. So most people know me from there. But yeah, I've been self-publishing for a couple years now. Was able to quit my job from that, and I also do a little bit of real estate investing in stocks, and also share that on YouTube. Share what I'm doing with my journey to kind of financial freedom and retiring early. I share that on YouTube, and so business-wise, that's kind of what I do. Um, but besides that, I'm a pretty normal guy living in Hawaii, enjoying life. So yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty humble, man. Like you have a pretty prolific reputation in the publishing community. So like, can you tell everyone like what do you average with your publishing income in terms of like revenue?
Revenue, it's always kind of stuck. It's always been around 15,000 a month right now. I've been kind of stuck at this point for a while. I'm struggling to kind of break through this mark. Um, but I guess it's not going down as well. So that's also a positive. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, when you say you've been stuck for a while, like how long have you been making this much money per month exactly?
I'd say over a year.
Over a year? You've been publishing for quite some time though, haven't you?
Uh, yeah, maybe maybe a year and a half. Um, there was a period where I made a lot more just because ACX started the 100 codes and we got paid for it. So I mean, obviously, if you give out more codes, you get paid more. So then I had a lot of book in the catalog. So I would just give out all the codes to as many people as I can, and we got paid for it. And definitely got a boost in income from that for
Hmm.
good good amount of months. But I don't think that really counts in terms of like how much I should claim to make, I think.
Okay,
So,
I respect that. That's good on you that hey, you did make money before, but if it wasn't in like the most super white hat way, although it was not legal, like you don't want to claim on it, so
right,
got you.
right. You can give out codes white hat way too, and still get paid. So, I mean, yeah,
Yeah. Well, one thing I really like about you and why we brought you onto the show is because you have a lot of different income streams and you're pretty well diversified apart from the typical publisher. So, I mean, everyone will know in a bit, but in addition to the money you're making, you're also working a day job at the Hilton.
I quit. I
Oh,
yeah, I work from home full time now. But until October last year, yeah, I was working at Hilton. Um, I think the first 3 years of publishing, I was still working a day job.
okay. And that's actually not a bad idea at all because health insurance costs money. It's always, I guess, not the worst thing in the world to have a steady paycheck come in every 2 weeks, even if it's
Mhm.
part time, covers living expenses.
Yeah,
But how old are you?
I'm 25.
25 years old, still young. And so you've been doing this, I assume, like at around 21 ish. So have you gone to college? Did you drop out of college?
No, I've never been to college. So basically, the story is right after high school, I started a sales job selling Cutco knives. That was my first job. And since then, I kind of just stuck to sales because when I was selling to Cutco knives, I was also invited to multi-level marketing. And I joined a multi-level marketing company called Bima. So it was a kind of a nutrition company. They sold like healthy energy drinks and other healthy drinks like that. They don't make any money, and I don't really like multi-level marketing now that I kind of know more about the structure. However, that got me into entrepreneurship, and I learned what passive income is instead of just earned income. And so started that journey when I was around 18, I think. And yeah, so just kind of stuck with sales, because at the same time, I also learned that sales is one of the best careers to, develop the skills in. And also to, if you want to increase your income, you don't have to wait years to get like a dollar raise, you can just sell more and make more. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good to me. I want to master sales. And I never was a good salesman, but it definitely helped me in terms of like learning, people skills and also communication skills, because English is not my first language, right? So it took a lot of time to work on losing my accent and also to speak this fluently. I think I do a pretty good job considering like I had to learn English after like high school, so
Oh, didn't know
um,
that about you.
yeah. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And Hilton technically was more of a customer service job, but there was also a selling aspect of it because we sold tours and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Wow, cool. So you got started early. Cutco. Did you know that Emeka used to have his career based from Cutco too?
Yeah, I heard.
Did you ever see him at any seminars or any shows for
Um,
the company?
no, man. I mean, I've only been with Cutco maybe like 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, at least you got the experience. So from there, how did you like get into online marketing and ultimately publishing?
So I was doing multi-level marketing, trying to figure that out. I would watch all the videos I can find on YouTube, buy a bunch of courses. I would go fly out to Kentucky or Kansas City where they're doing, the seminars and whatnot. And, I've attended those and try to learn as much as I can. That didn't go anywhere, but that led to another multi-level marketing company. And then I kind of failed at that too. So
But
I
the
used to live in
second
Big Island,
multi-level marketing
where
company,
it's a lot more country.
had a big team
That's where
in
my family
Oahu.
is. But when I learned that, for this second MLM company, there was a huge team that was actually crushing it in Oahu, which is where Waikiki and, the capital of Hawaii is and whatnot, where it's a lot more city, right? So I'm like, man, if I can move to Oahu and kind of, even though we're not in the same like downline technically for like MLM aspect, if I can kind of get connected to this team, maybe they can help me with my business. So that's kind of the reason why I moved to Oahu. And when I first moved here, I was connecting with them, even though that didn't really help in terms of my business. So I kind of gave up on MLM after a while and started working for Hilton and had a job before that. But then one day I was kind of just browsing YouTube at night while I was brushing my teeth, and I looked up how to make money online. And I found the infamous video or a channel from Stephen James with Project Life Mastery, just like everybody else does.
Hmm.
And he talked about how Kindle Publishing is one of the easiest business to get started, making money online. So after doing a little more research, I bought his course, and that's how I started. Um, and yeah, rest is history, man.
Yeah. So starting out, what year did you start? 2016 or?
Yeah, that was August 2016.
Okay. So that was pretty early on. And what kind of success did you have? Any degree of success you have starting out? Like, was it easy for you to ramp up? Did you struggle? How did it go?
Honestly, back then it was a lot more easier to make money than now. Just because the algorithm was completely different. You would just get like a little bit of sales, and put it on a free promotion, and your book would just kind of shoot up to page one of whatever keyword you're trying to rank for. And so I would just follow that because I was taught in the course. And um, from the first book that I published, it was, making money. So I guess I was lucky there. But yeah, it was pretty easy to ramp up in terms of that because I would just, publish new books, and every time it will kind of work. I think my keyword and the covers were pretty good in terms of uh, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was pretty smooth for me.
Okay, well, you must have worked hard too. Even back then, like things were a lot easier. I was around that era. I joined January of 2017, and yeah, you could just publish a book, do some optimizations to rank organically, and just make money from there. But yeah, what changes have you noticed that have made it more difficult compared to before with Kindle Publishing?
I think the biggest changes right now is how the algorithm works. Um, Before, Amazon used to look at like the 72-hour average in terms of sales, right?
Hmm.
But now they're looking at the whole 30-day average. So instead of getting, a bunch of sales in a short amount of time, you have to really, tell the Amazon algorithm that your book can consistently get sales within a 30-day average or 30-day span. So what that means is you have to get more sales for a longer period of time, right? So your marketing got to be longer, and it'll cost more as well, which is, I think, a good thing. Increases kind of the barrier of entry to the business, because there's a lot of book spammers out there nowadays as well, because the increase in courses teaching Kindle publishing and a lot of students coming in, and it's Amazon's way of combating against those low quality book spammers. So they're forcing us to kind of, by making things a little more expensive, they're forcing us to slow down in publishing, and also to make sure each book counts in terms of quality. And I think it's a good thing. But that's kind of the major change that I've noticed, is a little increase in competition, and also the algorithm.
Yeah, I actually watched on your channel your latest video about stop doing this with Kindle Publishing, and everyone's just trying to get into the same pool of keywords. Since when you're new, you have a relatively limited scope of keyword ideas that could be profitable, but everyone else is doing them. And so that's the influx we're seeing. And I agree with you that it's actually a good thing that everyone's being forced to step up the quality, as it means for the customer, they get better books to potentially buy and download. And it also actually provides a barrier to entry so that those of us who want to make a real living from this legitimately have to set the bar a little bit higher in order to see profits. So I think it's great.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think that it's been almost 4 years since you've started this. In all likelihood, you've saved some cash. Like, have you tried any other ventures since starting publishing online?
Yeah, so since I started, every single money that I made, I saved, and I got lucky because I had a partner that I knew, or I had a person that I knew, who knows a lot about real estate. So he knew how to get deals, how to, like, he had, people to sell to, and how to make money with that. And I had the cash to invest in real estate. So we kind of had a partnership deal where I would just send the money. I don't have to do any work. He would do all the work for me, from finding the deals, finding, the seller or the buyer for the land or the property, and, do all the contracts and everything, pretty much all the work. And I would just simply pay him a cut from the profit. So started doing that, and been about 3-4 years as well, because kind of we started that around the same time I started self-publishing and making money. So I've been building that up, my real estate portfolio. I guess it's technically not a portfolio because we're just flipping lands right now. So after I sell it, it's not in my portfolio. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been putting into real estate. Anything extra that whenever I have extra money that I can't put into real estate, maybe because we can't find good deals, or where I can't reinvest into my self-publishing business because I've already done that, and I don't want to put too much, like I don't want to, make too much at the same time. then I would just put it into stocks. So that's what I've been learning as well.
Cool. And so with real estate, just to clarify, I assume these are all residential deals, not commercial.
Yeah, so real estate, we do something very simple. We actually started with tax lien properties. So a bunch of properties that would go for because the previous owner didn't pay taxes, on it. So then the bank takes it away. And this is all back in Big Island. So over there, they do a tax lien auction twice a year. So we would go to this place, and then kind of do an auction and bid on each property. They always get like maybe 100 properties at a time, and we will grab a few if we can outbid everybody. But that's so fun because it's kind of an auction style, so you're just like bidding
Yeah.
against. But yeah, and then you buy lands cheap and you flip it. But the thing is, with tax liens, it's a little complicated because of the regulations and whatnot. So now we're just kind of buying a non-tax lien, just a normal land. And we're doing two things. We're just buying lands cheap and just flipping it. And something recent that we started is buying a land and we're building a tiny house on it from scratch to increase value of the property, of course. And we love tiny house. It's definitely something that I personally love, and I want to live in one in the future too. So yeah, I love it. We're working on our second tiny house right now, and that's almost done. It's looking pretty sick, and yeah, we've been doing that. We want to do more of it.
Yeah, I've seen some of your real estate profiles. And is the tiny house the one that's also self-sustainable as far as like the plumbing and electricity?
Yeah, so we got solar on it, and we also have catchment for the water. I think it's pretty close to self-sustaining, but yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone ever wants to go off the grid and just like disappears from society, they can contact you for your rental.
Yeah, Big Island of Hawaii is like a perfect place to do that too.
Noted. Just noted if I have to run away from a crime scene. But how much does that rent out for monthly?
So we just sell it actually.
Oh,
We don't,
okay.
but I think this new one, I don't want to kind of quote it because my partner always just gives me the numbers.
Okay. Can I buy it for cheaper than 100,000?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like 60 or something cash or a little
Okay,
more.
that's fair. Cool. So that was a pretty cool idea, and I think people can still check it out on your Facebook profile if they go through your photos.
Yeah, for sure. I always kind of put it on Facebook Marketplace or wherever when it's time to sell.
Right on. And aside from real estate, have you tried any online ventures since publishing, good or bad?
Yeah. So after publishing, I tried to do high ticket affiliate marketing because one of the issues with the people that I was listening to when I first started publishing was that everybody was saying it's hard to scale past $10,000 a month. And I guess for me, technically, that's kind of being true because I'm stuck at 15, but that's not the case with everybody else, right? There's so many people that scale way past 20, 30, 50, thousand or more with publishing. So it's definitely not like a ceiling to have 10,000. But since I didn't know anything back then, and the people that I was listening to continuously said that, I believed them. And they said once you hit 10,000 a month in Kindle Publishing, you want to start a new business, you know? So I was like, okay, what to do? And then this person that I was listening to recommended a high ticket affiliate marketing company called Mobe. And so since I trusted this guy, I got into it. And the biggest issue with Mobe, they actually tried to, it wasn't like a scam or anything. They tried to make you successful and make you money. But the buy-in cost was so damn expensive. And so technically that aspect was kind of scammy because you have to, in terms of, if you want to sell their product to make commissions for it, you have to first become a customer. And their product cost would range from 2,500 for the cheapest one to 30,000 for the most expensive one. And if you want to buy the 30,000 one, you have to buy all the other ones that worked up to it. So if you buy from the 2,500 one, and they have different packages. So if you buy everything up to the 30,000 package, it will cost $60,000, So because back then I believed in like going all in, and as long as you go all in, work your ass off and believed you can make it happen, then you'll be successful. So I went all in with that, paid $60,000, and also I bought their training packages, or coaching packages, sorry, which was $15,000, and another $10,000 on some other package, and ran like Facebook ads following their coaching package for about $13,000, I think. So that's well over like $100,000. And the crazy thing is, like, I didn't make any money from it.
You didn't make a single sale?
Now, I made some sales, but like very, very few. Plus, like, you had to wait like a month for the commission to be paid out, and the company crashed before I was paid out. So technically,
wow.
I didn't get paid anything.
Wow. So, I mean, as you just mentioned, spending over 100,000, paying $15,000 in essence to learn how to run a Facebook ad for Mobe. Damn. I mean, I've lost tens of thousands of dollars before too, in ventures gone bad. I mean, it feels horrible. Like,
Yeah.
oof. But I don't know if you've seen the news, but Mobe actually recently, in the past couple months, has been issuing fines to the major affiliates related to it. So, yeah, aside from Matt Lloyd, he got fined $335 million by the FTC. Steven Bransfield, he was like this 22-year-old kid that was a big affiliate. If you know Steven, he got fined $4.5 million. So he'll likely have to claim bankruptcy. And John Chow got fined, I think, around the same. So, and they're banned for life from promoting anything related to making money online. So they're done.
Really? Wow. I mean, I knew Steven Bransfield declared bankruptcy like a long time ago, and everybody said it was kind of because he predicted this to be happening, So he would like kind of save his money offshore or wherever, and then declare bankruptcy so he can kind of keep that money. But that's nuts, though. That's nuts that this is happening.
Yeah, there's a press release from the FTC in April of this year, 2020, and Steven had to disclose how much he's making currently, and he's claiming he's only making $5,000 a month compared to before. Yeah, so I think they're still coming down on other big affiliates. So for those of you out there who know someone in large in Mobe, they're coming down. It's not a good time for Mobe affiliates.
Wow. There's a lot of big name like affiliate marketers that was making money in Mobe too. Like John Cristani was one. I mean, I saw his name a couple times in the leaderboard. So a lot of people were promoting Mobe,
Yeah, it was a big operation. I've known people that were either participating in Mobe or tried to be an affiliate for it at a large scale. And yeah, the Federal Trade Commission's making a lot of contact with people. So they're still sorting all that out.
But overall, I think it's good. I think more of this happening, there's less companies that will try and take advantage of their customers. I mean, Mobe definitely was taking advantage of customers, right? In the questionnaire that you have to answer in terms of like how much funds do you have, because they always assign a coach to work with you and walk you through like their upsell sequence. And one of the questions was like, can you access your retirement funds,
Wow.
And they're targeting a lot of retirees. So, it depends on how the coach would phrase it, but I heard a lot of coach would tell them like, you can guarantee make money, or there's a good chance you can make money if you follow those steps, which is not true. Then these retirees will take out, their retirement funds and spend 100,000 or whatever to start Mobe and lose everything. So that just really sucked. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people like that, and it really, really sucks seeing people, go through that. Especially because I can come back from this, but for them, it's different.
Yeah, a lot of people lost their savings, sometimes the entirety of it, and there's just a lot of complaints with FTC related forums. So yeah, that's a hard one to recover from. But I mean, since that time, since the fallout of Moab, like, have you recovered as far as like your savings goes?
Yeah, so there was definitely a very difficult period. I was in the negative 40,000 because I had to borrow money from credit cards to, pay for stuff in Mobe. However, because Amazon was still paying me about 10,000 a month, and I saved literally 100% of it, I got out of that fairly quickly. I would say maybe 5-6 months or so. It's definitely not something I want to go through it again, but I'm glad I had the Amazon income still coming in while I was going through Mobe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through some dark times too where I've been negative, and yeah, it's depressing. But good thing you did have Kindle Publishing to pull you out, and it only lasted 5 months. But I mean, from that whole ordeal, like, what lessons did you learn with business in general?
I think the main lesson is the perceived value of high ticket products. There's a lot of lessons that I learned, but the main thing is like, back then I thought the more expensive the product is, the more value I would get. And it was always like that. But I mean, I definitely learned a lot from Mobe in terms of actual business information. But I can easily find the same information on YouTube or a course that costs $9.97. I don't have to pay $100,000. I can pay $1,000, and probably find a course that is more detailed and more like specific to what I'm trying to do. Because the information I learned from Mobe was kind of broad. Like, they taught a lot of stuff and it was very broad and it wasn't targeted. So paying more doesn't mean you're getting more, which was a big lesson that I learned. I also think you should never borrow money to start a business. I had to borrow a lot of credit cards. My credit got, went down quite a bit just for a short period. But definitely had that. And yeah, you don't need a lot of money to build a business nowadays, especially online. With online, the cost that it takes to build a business is so low. You can easily build a business with a couple $1,000 up front. And I just don't believe in investing so much just to see if it'll work. If it works and if you start making money, then you can start reinvesting what you make back into the business and spend more if you want to. But you don't have to spend 100 grand just to see the proof of concept, just to see if it works or not.
I agree. With brick and mortar businesses increasingly becoming, I guess, obsolete, especially due to the whole COVID crisis, I think more and more people are turning towards online ventures and realizing, hey, I don't need to pay for rent. I mean, web hosting would be the equivalent for a website. That only costs a few dollars a month. And yeah, you can get started with a lot of ventures online for, a couple thousand will actually get you pretty far starting out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So on your channel, I mean, you're noted too for having free lessons for Kindle Publishing. Like, why is it all free?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, one of the big issues with creating a paid course for me was my lack of confidence. So it's actually me. Um, because I live so frugally, the place I rent isn't that nice too. Like, this is the best background I can have. And the audio quality isn't the best, the video quality isn't the best. So I thought like, if I would go and make a paid course, I have to make those nice. And so then I probably have to move to a new place, get a different recording setup, recording studio. And I'm like, man, that's so much. So I thought if I come up with a free course, like I can justify low quality videos as long as the information is good, right? So what I mean low quality is in terms of production value. So that was one of the main things that kind of always hold me back from creating a paid course. I'm definitely interested in it. I want to, but there's so many great courses already on Kindle Publishing. Then I always kind of compare myself with others, and I'm like, can I do better? And the production value part always kind of holds me back. Information wise, I'm pretty confident that, I know a lot, like I know enough about publishing to teach something good for sure, but I just wanted to kind of test the water with the free course first, see how people respond. That was another reason too. But yeah, a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you're known for giving out top-notch info, and I think that's the main reason why, despite, as you admit, you have what you could say is low production value, your channels has exploded since last year. You've gone from a few hundred subscribers to, I think, over 2,000, which in Kindle publishing standards for the industry is pretty good in terms of growth.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the growth, how many subscribers are you getting every month now?
I think right now every month it's like 300 to 400.
Right. So, I mean, I can easily foresee, and I do predict that your channel will outgrow probably mine in the next 2 or 3 months. It's going to happen. So your brand is growing, and if the issue with you is your production value, how about like I mail you over a microphone and a headset, and we'll split the profits 50-50 on the course.
All right, I mean, we'll talk about that after this.
Yeah. So, I mean, hardware aside, that can be figured out relatively quickly. But you've got the info on to really succeed with publishing from scratch. So, what advice can you give to a lot of people listening, a lot of people on your channel who are new to publishing? Like, what would be your best insight for someone starting out?
With publishing,
Yeah.
I would say because of, how publishing is getting a little more expensive to start, how it's getting more competitive, harder to stand out. Back then, you can just find a bunch of keywords in different niches and publish books in it, play kind of a shotgun approach to things and, publish a bunch of books. And it worked. That's definitely what I did when I first started. And, a lot of people do that and make money, but I think the best way now, the quickest route to start making money with publishing, or actually, sorry, it might not be the quickest way, but I think the most efficient way to start making money is just focus on one niche and kind of build that up slowly. So maybe you're publishing one book a month, but you're publishing under the same pen name in the same targeted like niche. And every single book is very high quality and each one builds upon each other. So you can create a series of books that is related, because every time you publish a book in that series, say you have book one and then you publish book two, and when you get a lot of sales or traffic to book two, inevitably people will go to book one and buy some of that as well. Then you publish book three, then some people will buy book two and one. You publish book four, and some people, so you want to keep building that up slowly and just keep running ads, keep sending traffic. And imagine if you have like 10 book in a series and you're running ads to it, right? And basically, if you just get, one sale on book number one, some of those people will go and buy book number 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is, huge in fiction, but it also works in nonfiction too. So technically, you're only paying for a sale of one book, but then in the back end, you're making, sale for like multiple books. You know what I mean? So I think that's the best way to build publishing now, is to slow down, focus on providing value, creating high quality books, really kind of identify what your niche is and just focus on serving that and building it up slowly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's actually the whole reason why I pivoted to romance publishing, is because if you have book one in a series and people love that book, inevitably you're going to have a significant amount of customers go through book two, three, four, five, the bundle, and maybe on to another series that you have with the same pending.
Right.
And that's definitely applicable for nonfiction as well in a lot of niches. I think people just need to be creative on how to execute it. So that's cool. And that works. So, like, with everything going on, as you mentioned earlier, publishing with audiobooks has become a little bit less lucrative due to the elimination of codes. Do you
Yeah,
think audiobooks are still viable as a way to make money online?
I think so. I think so, but it's not as like a year ago when it was so untapped. Every single keyword only had maybe like 10, 20 books, so automatically when you publish in it, you're ranked on page one. And Audible is the same thing as Amazon, right? The SEO is, definitely a huge factor in it. If you're not on page one and people don't find your book, you're not going to get sales, right? So it's same as Audible, where you want to make sure you're publishing in a keyword that is not that competitive, because I feel like it's actually trickier to get sales on Audible or control sales because you can't run ads unless you're running Facebook ads. And with fiction, I think, because you have a huge series where you can afford to run and pay more, for a lead, it's a little more like easier to control. But I think with nonfiction, it's a little trickier. So yeah, you really got to make sure, which keyword you're going into in Audible. And yeah, I think it's still possible, but definitely harder for that reason.
Right. For people that are publishing for intermittent fasting, they could find themselves in an uphill battle
Yeah,
against everyone else publishing for it every week. But if
right.
you find a keyword that's not as easily exposed, I have books that are audiobooks that are still making money after 3 years of being published, just because they're really niche compared to other keywords.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do make money. Where do you see yourself going like 5 years from now with this whole entrepreneurship thing? Do you see yourself continuing publishing, real estate? Like, what's the plan for Sean?
It's interesting because nowadays I'm trying to have a better work-life balance for the first time in my life, I think. Because from when I was like 19, 20 to, 25 now, literally everything I've done was to make money, right? I've said no to every single invite from my friends and, said no to a lot of things. And I just focused on making money. But now that I'm a little more like, everything's more stable now financially, kind of want to start building a life outside as well. So that's what I've been doing, hanging out with friends more. I
Good for
still work
you.
like 6 days a week, and I try to put 5 hours a day. But after that, I try to hang out with friends, started playing poker recently, learn how to play poker. I'm killing it, destroying all my friends. But yeah, have a better balance. What I want to do is I want to maintain what I have because I think I have a good thing going. I don't really care for like, making a lot of money, like $1 million, a month or anything like that. I mean, if I can get there eventually, that'll be nice, but I don't want to really stress over it. I rather just enjoy what I have and build it up slowly. And I think the best way to do that is to build the real estate side, because I feel like real estate is the most stable thing that I have right now over Amazon, because Amazon, I'm relying on Amazon. So you never know what's going to happen on that side. So what I'm just focusing on is maintaining my Kindle business, building it up. I have a brand that I'm personally passionate in, that I'm, excited to build up and serve the audience over there. Hopefully I can increase my income. That's what I'm working on. And I'm still saving everything I can, putting everything in real estate, also in stocks. Stocks is very interesting. as I learn more about it, and slowly build that side and share everything I learn on YouTube. And yeah, pretty much doing the same thing as I'm already doing. Maybe I'll come up with a paid course if I have a better, like I'll figure that side out later. But yeah, that's my plan now.
Yeah, you can have a paid course that covers the whole umbrella with Kindle Publishing, online marketing, poker lessons. Like everyone, I think, wants to learn a little bit of poker. And yeah, you
Yeah,
never know.
means in poker.
I mean, do you see yourself getting into any like satellite tournaments or anything significant with poker?
No, I mean that's the thing. Like I love gambling, but I know that I shouldn't. So I'm just kind of holding myself to $5 a week. That's the buy-in over here with my friends. So
Dude, you're disrespecting the Japanese in you. You can't be gambling like degenerately.
I know.
Oh, that's good. I mean, at least you're in Hawaii where it's somewhat permitted, I guess. So you're good there. Um, have you like gone back to, well, you lived in Japan, right? You were born there. So,
Yeah, born and raised until high school, so until 14.
okay. This is going to be like a really stereotypical question. Do you like anime?
I do. I do like anime.
Like, what recommendations would you have for anyone that's into anime right now? What should they be watching?
I mean, I like it. I don't watch a lot of it, but like I like whatever that's on Netflix. But JoJo is always good. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, One Piece is a good one. I don't really like Naruto, but I just like the typical ones, man. Dragon Ball. Nah, Dragon Ball is kind of the earlier one was good, but then nowadays it's kind of getting shittier.
Yeah, I like to watch excerpts from Super, and the movie was good. Have you been watching like Baki on Netflix?
That's a good one. There's
Baki is
another
good.
Baki too. Um, Also on Netflix. It's called Kangen Ashura, which is very similar to Baki in terms of style. So I
I
like
saw that. Yeah, anything to get the testosterone bumping. But yeah, cool. Hey, so I think that's about it. Hey, I know you took this on late notice, so I appreciate you taking the time to get on the channel. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or anything you want to say to everyone listening?
um not really. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for always providing value in the publishing community. But no, that's it. I mean, I enjoyed talking to you, and yeah.
Cool, man. So on YouTube, I'm going to leave a link below to your YouTube channel so that everyone can find where you are on YouTube, along with a link to your free Facebook group. So we'll include that for any of you listening on YouTube as well. So, and I think I can add that on Spotify as well. So thanks for joining on the channel, Sean, and I'll see you later.
All right, cool. Thanks for having me. Nice
Okay,
talking
thanks,
to you.
man. See ya.